other candidates on the Democratic side of the aisle having some trouble to launch, Joe Biden most prominently.
Yeah.
What do you make of the controversy surrounding Biden and his odd hair smelling and face touching and all the rest of this?
Here's my thing. I don't think that he is a sexual assaulter. I don't think he's a sexual harasser, but I also don't think that his actions are completely innocent. I don't think that he's just this old guy from a previous generation that likes the smell of shampoo. I just don't believe that. I think that there is a little bit of creepiness and a little bit of weirdness. And I would say a purposeful weirdness that comes with him being overly touchy to women in public. I just think it's odd. I know that you can be a touchy person, but at some point your social cues kind of pick up and say, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't smell the back of someone's head. I don't know. So I don't think it's completely innocent. I do think that he's creepy. That doesn't mean that he is a villain of the Me Too movement, though.
And that does raise the opposite question that the left has raised, which is anytime you say that somebody like Joe Biden is creepy, well, what about President Trump? How do you deal with that? As a female conservative, how do you deal with Trump's history, the allegations that have been made against him? How do you bifurcate?
Well, what I encourage people to do, if you are against something that President Trump did, just say that. Don't try to make an excuse for it. I could say, yeah, I don't like what he said in that Access Hollywood tape, and I don't like what he's probably done with women. I don't like that he probably cheated on his wives. That doesn't make what Biden did any better. If your only argument for someone's morality on the left is but Trump, that's not a very good argument. Why not be the person that says, yeah, both of them are wrong. I'm not saying that Trump is disqualified because of those things. I'm also not saying that Biden is disqualified because of those things. I think people should make that decision. But I don't think the but Trump argument is a very logical one.
So where do you think we stand with the Me Too movement, given all of this? So there's been this attempt to expand the Me Too movement beyond sexual assault and sexual abuse to weird hair smelling, and at the same time to suggest that an allegation is tantamount to proof of guilt.
Yeah.
So where do you think, do you think that what started off as what I thought was actually somewhat of a positive movement is now irredeemable? Do you think that there's some core of it that is left to be promoted?
Yeah.
What do you think of its trajectory?
I agree with you that in the beginning, I thought that it did some good and that it gave women cover who maybe previously were scared to talk about their stories to come forward and say, yeah, this happened to me and it was wrong and it scared me. Whatever they wanted to say, I do think it's good that women feel more confident in coming forward, that they're not only going to get shamed for it. But it turned very quickly, and it was mostly during the Kavanaugh thing, from listen to her to believe her. I'm all for listening to her. I want to hear her story, and I think that she deserves to be listened to. I don't think she deserves necessarily to be believed, no matter what. And so that's when it shifted from believe her to listen to her to believe her, that's kind of when we lost all sense of logic, all sense of justice, all sense of truth. And I'm not sure if there's any way to go back.